For the late models. 1Z, Jim Zarin from Coriopolis. From Zillionople in the 48, John Flinner. From Butler in the 7, Bill Adler. In the 7M from Rayland, Ohio, that is Michael Davis. Out of Oakdale in the 0, the 29 of Rick. Take a look at what they're all about. 10 laps, first of 2 qualifiers for tonight's twin 20s for the late models. Zarin and Flinner bring the field to the green, and off they go. Flinner darts into lead in car number 48. Zarin in the 1Z is second. Adler in the 7 is third. Atala moves to fourth in car 84. John's towing. 48 of John Flinner in the fast lane right now, with Zarin second, Adler third, Atala fourth, and Wade fifth. Baker in the 0, trying to pass the 7 of Michael Davis for 6. They're wheel to wheel off the 4th turn. Baker will make the pass in the Farm Used Auto Parts 0. Meantime, the Phil Lucon 84 of Atala gets by Bill Adler for 3rd. The Yingling Lager 76 of Dave Wade is still 5th. Now it's Miley and Davis, wheel to wheel in 3, with Baker just ahead of them. The battle in the middle of the pack. 3 laps in. John Flinner leading. Jim Zarin second. Now it's Atala third and trying to close in on Zarin. Adler is 4th and Wade 5th. Halfway, 5 laps to go, 5 to go. John Flinner with 1 win on the season, leading the way. John with a different car here tonight than what we've seen. This is the car he regularly runs up at the Lernerville Speedway. He's been running a blue car here at Pittsburgh with a blue frame. This, of course, the familiar black with the purple frame. The car he runs at Lernerville, and the same color combination he ran here a year ago. Zarin second, Atala third, Adler fourth, and Wade is 5th, and it's Baker, Davis, Smiley, Williams, and Heim. White flag this time, 1 lap to go. Zillionople in car 48, the first heat race win of the night to John Flinner. Zarin second, Atala third, Adler 4th, Dave Wade is 5th. Z in the number 50 car, that is Ed Dunn from Beaver. The 6 of Chuck Kennedy from Mars, Tony Mussolino in the number 21 from Scott Township. Dave Johnson in the 697 from Toronto, Ohio. 15 of Nick Jones from North Hills. From Moon Township, the 5 of George Kowanek. From Chester, West Virginia, the 09 of Lou Bradish. And from Weirton in the 04, Gary Swiger. Round 2. Second of 2 qualifiers for tonight's Twin 20s for the late models. On Twin State Auto Racing Club night. Green is waving and off they go. Geisler takes the lead in the 1C. Motes is second, Kennedy third. Then it's Dunn, Mussolino, Kowanek, and Jones. Bradish, Johnson, and Swigert are next. Nick Jones trying to get to the low side of Ed Dunn, who's hugging the rail himself. They're bunched up tight outside the top 5. It's Geisler ahead of the field in the Cochran Automotive 1C. Look out, Kowalik gets into the 21 of Mussolino. Contact between those two. They continue on. Mussolino with damage on the left rear and Kowalik on the right front. A bar or something just flew off the 21 car, I believe, as it caught going into that first turn, went high into the sky and came down right in the racing groove there in turn 1. And caution is on the Speedway. It either came off the 21 or the 5 after they made contact up in the limited lates and maybe even the E-mods that night. Topless Tuesday. It's a points night for all divisions. Race time at 7, June 24th. Back racing all your late models into turn 1. Moats on the outside will take the lead. It's to be the preferred line to start the race. Kowalik wheels the 5 all the way up to 3rd. Mussolino 4th and Jones moves to 5th. It's Moats in front, Geisler 2nd. Moats your leader, Geisler 2nd. Kowalik 3rd, Mussolino 4th, Jones is 5th. Lou Bradish running 6th. You can see the rear roof post on the right side of Bradish's 09 has broken loose. Is hanging down off the side of the car. Maybe affecting Lou some in the turns, not catching as much wind as it normally would. Halfway, 5 down and 5 laps to go. Mark Moats taking the lead away from Lynn Geisler on the last restart. Brings the field through 3 and 4. Nick Jones passing Tony Mussolino to move up to 4th. Mussolino trying to get back under Jones off of 4. Jones 4th, Mussolino 5th, Bradish a close 6th. Bradish now to the inside of Mussolino through 1 and 2. The battle continues down the back chute. Still Mark Moats in the fast lane with Lynn Geisler 2nd. 3 laps to go. Kowalik 3rd, Jones 4th. The race is for 5th between Tony Mussolino and Lou Bradish. Bradish able to get under Mussolino in turn 1 and make the pass in turn 2. Geisler trying to close back in on race leader Mark Moats, and he's closing in a quick way here with 2 to go. Down the back straightaway, it's still Moats, but Geisler pulls back within a couple of car lengths. Coming into 3, Geisler closes the gap even more, trying to pull even in turn 4. 1 lap to go. One more time around. Still Mark Moats. They're about even through 1 and 2, but Geisler seems to be a lot faster in 3 and 4. Nick Jones now challenging George Kowalik for 3rd. If they come to the checkered, Geisler again makes a charge off the low side, but it's going to be Moats winning with Geisler 2nd. Kowalik will hold on for 3rd with Nick Jones 4th, Lou Bradish 5th. Moving on to the advance. You also receive the Montgomery GI Bill. And if you qualify, you can receive a GI Bill kicker. The VA work study programs, which could total around $1,000 a month. These guys are racing way too early. The green is out. They slowed down enough. Tom Durant, your leader in the 55. 84, Jim Steffens is on the outside and takes the lead. Then it's the 69 of John Hodgkiss moving to 2nd. 31, Tony Sinecrow. 99 is Jesse Burrows. The 02 is Todd Sorenzi out for the first time this year. And the 18 is Eric Markle. The field, Lucon Repfab, Colbert's Collision 84 of Jim Steffens with the hammer down. running third and Jesse Burrows fourth. Tony Sinecrope is fifth. It's Jim Steffens ahead of the field and John Hotchkiss second. Gunn and Rich Appolito, 1 and 2 in the points, are both in the second heat race for the limited lates. Jim Steffens, who won a feature here back on April 26th, continues to show the way. John Hotchkiss running a strong second in the Nigel Auto Solution 69. Durats in the Gearhead Graphics Bridgeville Automotive 55 third. Then it's the Miley Zamico 99 of Jesse Burrows, a close fourth, trying to make the pass for third as they race down the front chute. Less than a lap to go for leader Jim Steffens. Colbert's Collision 84, Jim Steffens out of Baldwin taking the heat race win with John Hotchkiss second. Third belongs to Tom Durats. Fourth to Jesse Burrows, and Tony the Tiger Sinecrope rounds out the top five in the Pabst Blue Ribbon Special. One more heat race for your... One. Green is out. And off they go. Neil Eismiger in the Bud Bear Pontiac Buick GMC 1 out in front early. Appolito and Castelvetter battle for second, the 77 and the 27. Mike Morgan in the 83 is fourth. Scott Gunn in the 14 fifth. Then it's Kirk Young and Dale Westlake. Castelvetter continues to pressure Appolito for second. Eismiger's had a string of bad luck of late, trying to get it turned around tonight. He leads at the halfway mark, 4 down and 4 to go. Appolito still second, and Castelvetter continues to challenge. Bobby a little better getting into the turns maybe, but cars about even up down the straightaways. Morgan is fourth, Gunn runs fifth, and it's Kirk Young and Dale Westlake. Neil Eismiger has raced to a straightaway lead. And the Zappi Oil Bud Bear Pontiac Buick GMC number 1. The All-Pro Waterproofing 77 of Appolito is second, and the Froggy FM 27C of Castelvetter third. the lead continues to grow for Neil Eisminger, and he'll pick up the second heat race, for the Advanced Auto Parts Limited Late Models. Rich Appolito second, Bobby Castelvetter third, Mike Morgan fourth, and Scott Gunn is fifth. Broniszewski. The silver FC3 is Doug Foster, of course, from Kennedy Township. The blue car is Doug's car from a year ago. The 8 is Eric Betts from Kennedy Township, and the 18 is Mark Greer from Jefferson Hills. Caution is out. Guys have a sprint car they're raffling away this year, an Avenger chassis sprint car, all to benefit Racers for Tots. Here comes your first pure stock heat race. Much better that time. Adam Chaitil and Jake Simmons battle for the lead, and they're 3 wide behind them for third. Still going at it hot and heavy into turn number 3. Simmons has the lead, then it's Chaitil. Kamaker's up to third. Joe Hackemer in the 69. Jeff Broniszewski in the blue, what is to be FC31, but looks like FC3, and the silver FC3 is Doug Foster. Two laps down. Jake Simmons, your leader. Chaitil on the 1 gets a little high in turn 3. Here comes Craig Kamaker. He may get first out of this deal. Both the front 2 cars go high. Kamaker to the inside. Simmons in front. Kamaker second. Chaitil third. Hackemer fourth. Foster is up to fifth now in the silver FC3. Battle for the lead down the backstretch. Look out, Simmons in the 68 almost spun her around. Kamaker's got the lead. Simmons second. Foster moves up to third. And it's Chaitil, Hackemer, and Broniszewski. Four laps down and 4 to go for the Eisminger Pennzoil Pure Stocks. Simmons pushing high in turn 2. Foster wheels to second in the Fireside Inn FC3. Simmons goes high in 4, and Chaitil in the 1 moves to third. And now they're wheel to wheel for that third spot into turn 1. Watch that race for third. They're not separated by a whole lot. Adam Chaitil in the 1 and Jake Simmons in the 68. Coming for the white flag. Craig Kamaker. The Junix Towing, Morley's Auto, Advanced Auto Parts, Chevy. Your leader with Doug Foster second. Simmons gets out of sorts in the middle of 1 and 2 again. Chaitil moves into third in the 1. Simmons is fourth, and it's Joe Hackemer in the 69. Kamaker will win it. Foster second, Chaitil third, Simmons fourth, Hackemer fifth, and Hunt, Langham, and Broniszewski. Runs out of steam on the final lap. Looks like the blue machine is a little hot, trailing some water. We've got a gray Toyota from Moon Township. The 10 of Nick Kachuba from Imperial. The 4 is Sean Bryan from Robinson Township. Mike Crush in the number 5 car from Crafton. And the 27W is Steve Webb from Cranberry Township. Eight laps for the Eisminger Pennzoil Pure Stocks. Green is out. is Poljak. Anthony is second. Willie White third. Then it's Wayne Johnson in the 45. The Coors Light Brown Timber and Land 36 of A.J. Poljak. Your early leader, Willie White, in the Comcast 55, trying to pass the 69A of Joe Anthony for second. And Wayne Johnson up on the wall in the 45. Dusted off the Calusi Chevy sign. He keeps going. Lost a couple of spots. Battle for the lead. Poljak in front. White is second. Anthony third. Betts fourth. Sean Bryan fifth. Mike Crush has moved up to sixth to the number 5, and they're side by side for the lead now. And Willie White will make the pass down the back straightaway. The Comcast Cable Delco Transmission Chevy in front of A.J. Poljak's Oldsmobile. Joe Anthony's Lumina running third in the 69A. Bob Betts also running in Olds is fourth in the 81. Sean Bryan in a Chevy, the Monte Carlo, is fifth in the 4. Betts to the inside of Anthony. Sean Bryan joins the battle too. Bob Betts being scored in third that time by. White ahead of A.J. Poljak. Sean Bryan now chasing Bob Betts for third. Mike Crush in the 5, trying to wheel his Chevy up into the top 5, pressuring Joe Anthony. Crush got her sideways. Anthony is sideways. Crush does a 360 spin. Everyone's by thus far, and the white is out. Green is still waving. Now the caution is out. Mike Crush trying to move. Green waves. White missed a shift, it appeared, and Poljak has got the lead back into 36. Sean Bryan trying to get by Willie for second. Bobby Betts is fourth and Joe Anthony fifth as they come to the checkered flag. Slicing and dicing. The Coors Light Brown Timber and Lamb 36 of A.J. Poljak will win it. White second, Bryan third, Betts fourth. Wayne Johnson completes the top 5. Bob Betts was fourth. Sean Bryan third. Willie White second. Green is out. Ron Patchen in the 51 and Frankie Schneider in the Mach 5. Battle for the lead with Larry Marks right behind them in the 17. Marks now trying to pull alongside of Opatchen as Schneider has moved ahead of the field. Darrell Robinson moving on the low side in the 1R. And up high, the 06 of John Kane joins the fray. Now it's Opatchen slingshotting underneath Schneider down the back chute. Camp Lumber, Pittsburgh Fire Bureau 5, still ahead of the Sunrise Motors. Mon Avenue Motors 51 of Ron Opatch, and then it's the Morrow Motors 1R of Darrell Robinson now down on the inside, nosing into second. Mike McKee slowing down in car 33. Looks like he's headed for the pits. Robinson able to run the low groove in that 1R, and now he pulls alongside of race leader Frankie Schneider. You can hook one of these pure stocks up down on the inside. You can go places. Generally, they prefer the middle to the high side of the racetrack. Darrell Robinson's got that Chevy of his working down low. He takes the lead away from Frankie Schneider, Ron O'Patch, and Larry Marks. Their single foul off of 4. Kane right behind them in 5th in the 06. We're halfway. O'Patch now looks to the outside of Schneider. And still Frankie 2nd, Ron 3rd. To go. Darrell Robinson has checked out in the Morrow Motors 1R. Good race behind him between Frankie Schneider, Ron O'Patchin. With a little assistance from O'Patchin down the back straightaway goes Schneider. Marks is 4th and Kane a close 5th. They've been running that way from early on in this one. One more time around. Beaver Falls. And the Morrow Motors Bill Kell Racing Engines Monte Carlo. Darrell Robinson taking the checkered flag. Frankie Schneider, Ron O'Patchin, Larry Marks, and John Kane are following him closely behind. They come across 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Bill Westlake in the 51 a scratch. And Chuck Kennedy in the A1. Green is out. Ricky Megley takes the lead into turn 1. Vince LeBoon 2nd. John Pacifico is 3rd. Then it's Denny Perigo in the 14 and Wayne Tessine in the 10. Leland Ogden trails the field in car 38. Tessine splits a couple of cars in the middle of 3 and 4, but gets up high in turn 4, and they're 3 wide coming down the front chute. Perigo thinks better of it in the 14. Rick Megley, your leader. Vince LeBoon 2nd. Wayne Tessine is 3rd. John Pacifico in the 23 is 4th. Then it's Denny Perigo and Galen Ogden. Tessine up to 2nd in car 10. Pacifico slowing down a bit in the 23. Moving by him is Denny Perigo. Perigo moves up to 4th. Pacifico in the 23 now way off the pace. Megley's lead is shrinking as we've got 4 laps to go. Wayne Tessine closing in. Wayne, the defending track champ, was opening day winner here back on April the 5th, but hasn't really been close to a win since. Looks like he's got the 10 cars flying tonight. He closes quickly in on race leader Rick Megley. Right there, coming off the turns, he puts the hammer down. He's got a lot of forward bite coming off. Through 1 and 2, Tessine again pulls right in on the back bumper of Rick Megley, coming around a complete lap 6. Tessine trying to pull even now as they head into 3 and 4. Battle up off of 4, down the front straightaway. There he goes. Tessine takes the lead with 2 laps to go. Megley second. Laboon is third. Perigo fourth, and then Galen Ogden. Pacifico has dropped out in the 23. One more time around. We got a spinner over in turn 3, the 38 of Galen Ogden. Down against the inside guardrail, and the caution is out. Caution out for the 38 of Galen Ogden. Coming off of 4, Wayne Tessine, Rick Megley. Green is out. Once again on the restarts, the outside lane looks like the fast lane, at least into 1. Tessine gets sideways and spins. Coming to the checkered flag. Off of 4 they come. 1 lap to go for your E-modifieds. Green is out. Megley with a good restart. He'll take the lead into 1. Laboon, Tessine, and Perigo. Perigo up to 3rd still, and Tessine is 4th as they head into 3 and 4. Now they're 3 wide behind Rick Megley. Coming to the checkered flag. Let's just get it over, boys. Megley will win it. Looks like Laboon might have got second in the 17. And on top of Chuck's trailer down there inside the first turn. 98 is Joe Pemberton from Aleppo. The 8. George Kowalik and Al Atala on the front row for our late model feature, with Lynn Geisler and Jim Zarin in row 2 and Mark Motes and John Flinner in row 3. Invert 6. Invert 6. No go again. Green is waving and off they go. Bruce Drystad in the 78. Larry Walters in the 04 is still going at it. Chuck Kennedy in the 74 is 3rd. That's Daryl Charlier, Ralph Highsong, Jim Petrell. They're all bunched together exiting turn 4. Larry Walters your leader. Look out, Highsong in the 16 out of shape and spins around between 1 and 2, and Jim Petrell got caught up in that in the 84. The restart going as it did the original start of the race. Green is out. Slide into that first turn. It's still Walters in front. Drystad, Charlier on the outside in the orange 12, and down low comes the 74 of Chuck Kennedy. Highsong is already back into 5th in the 16. A real scramble here. Daryl Charlier up high in the 12. They'll leave turn 4 in 2nd by Justin Nose over the 74 of Chuck Kennedy. Kennedy and Charlier continue to duel for 2nd. Highsong is 4th. Drystad is 5th. Walters in front. The Mountaineer Gaming Casinos 04. Now Ralph Highsong Jr. makes it 3 wide for 2nd. Ralphie will make the pass. Splits the middle. Sunrise ACC Carey Harris Salon. The Village Inn sponsored 16. Now Daryl Charlier to the low side of the Stushers Automotive 74 of Chuck Kennedy. TriStar Motorsports 12 will be 3rd, Kennedy 4th, and it's Drystad and Petrell next in line. Three more laps to go. Larry Walters' first trip to Pennsylvania Motor Speedway in a race car in a long while. It's been a while since he's run here. He's going around pretty good. Out in front, Ralph Highsong trying to run him down. Charlier 3rd, Kennedy 4th, Petrell is 5th. Then it's Drystad and Pemberton. Cloudy a lap down in the number 8 car. Song Jr. closing in on race leader Larry Walters here in the closing laps. One to go. Has been your leader from the start. Ralph Hysong Jr., who spun once and brought out the caution, has come all the way to second, but he'll not be able to do any better. He'll finish in the runner-up spot. Charlier third, Kennedy fourth, Petrell is fifth in the 84. And we've got one more heat for the E-Modified. Is out and we're racing. Rick Smith slides into that first turn. Oh, Ray Brown dusting off the wall up there in 1 and 2 of the 19. He comes back down in 6. Russ Matika streaking down the back straightaway like a bolt of lightning up into third. Challenging Niederreiter for second now. Smith is still your leader, but he's awful sideways. It's a long racetrack with long sweeping turns, and usually it's not the fastest way around here when you're sideways. We'll see if Rick Smith can hold on. He's still in front. They're gaining on him down the back chute. Here comes Matik in the 17M and the 68 of Niederreiter. Matika, your leader. Spin here off the fourth turn. Martinek and their continued support of the late model program here at Pittsburgh. It's quite a nice bonus for winning the championship or for being the top rocket point man, and it just seems like it's been a rocket chassis that has won the championship. Green waves, time to go, boys. Matika leads them into 1. Smith runs second. Niederreiter third. Clayton Copeman never saw this racetrack as a driver before tonight. Smith's last time here, I think he said, was 3 years ago. Copeman in the 62 spins her around in turn 4. Everybody gets by. Those late day and evening rains. Matika, your leader. The battle for second between Niederreiter and Smith. Niederreiter to second now. Smith drops to third, and Joel Johns is fourth. Another spinner. This time it's Ken Puglisi in the 48 between first and second turns. Who've been victorious so far this year in the E-Modifieds. He hasn't slowed down any tonight. Keller Corporation, Bob's Excavating 17M. Although Denny Niederreiter's getting faster and faster in that 68. Now Joel Johns in the Mach 5, motors up to third. Smith is fourth. It's Rick Smith. Clayton Copeman runs fifth in car 62. Smith to the inside of Joel Johns in the battle for third. And Rick moves back into third down the back straightaway. White flag waving, 1 lap to go. Blake Copeman in the 62 to the inside of Joel Johns. The battle is for fourth. Johns with a bad push in the middle of the turns. Copeland moves back up to 4th in car 62, leaving Johns 5th. Monaca's Russ Matika will take the checkered flag in the 3rd heat race for the E-Modifieds. Niederreiter 2nd, Rick Smith 3rd, Copeland 4th, and Martinek will come 5th as Joel Johns has been trying to wreck for a lap and a half here, and he finally got it done, but he makes it across the checkered flag. Tom Martinek will finish 5th in car 65. Late model features lining up next. Robbie Torrens in the 22, Bill Robertson in the 1B, the front row. And the green is out. On this Memorial Day weekend. Big day for racing tomorrow, of course, with the Indy 500 and then the 600 at Charlotte for the NASCAR Winston Cup Series tomorrow night. One lap in the books, it's Bill Robertson and his Chevy Impala leading the way. Robbie Torrens 2nd, Bobby Seaman 3rd, Tim Fulmer is 4th. And then it's Ian Tomine in the 21 car 5th. Seaman in the 18 goes high, and Fulmer in the 0 moves to 3rd. Caution is out. Green is out. Bill Robertson and Robbie Torrens lead the pack, just as they were when the caution waved. Bobby Seaman is 3rd. 0 of Tim Fulmer, the 21 of Ian Tomine, battling hard behind Seaman. Fulmer on the outside, trying to pull alongside of Bobby Seaman. Still Robertson in front, Torrens is 2nd, Seaman 3rd, then it's Fulmer, Tomine, Davey Lee, Butch Lewandowski, Josh Langer. Ian Tomine moving into the 4th spot. Can he hold it? Look out! Contact between the 0 of Tim Fulmer and the 96 of Davey Lee. They keep going, but Butch Lewandowski behind them. Someone got it, I think, a piece of the 59 and sent Butch around. They're all still rolling. The green is still out. Fulmer's got the 0. The back end pushed in and shifted a little bit. One lap to go. Bill Robertson in front. Bobby Seaman 2nd. Robbie Torrens 30 and Tomine 4th, and the 96 of Davey Lee is 5th. Butch Lewandowski looks like he'll head to the pits in the 59 car. Imperial Tire and Automotive Chevy. Upper St. Clair, the hometown. The driver, Bill Robertson. And he picks up the amateur stock. 1 lap to go. White flag. Seaman 2nd, Torrens 3rd, Tomine 4th, and Lee is 5th. And this time it Skeets Lewandowski. The 80K car was trying to get by, and he didn't quite make it. It's unheard of. That's 3. Oh. Bill Robertson and Bobby Seaman. Green is out. Robertson with a good restart, leads them into 1. Robbie Torrens now trying to move into 2nd. He makes the pass in turn 1. Seaman is 3rd, and it's Tomine and Davey Lee. Checkered flag, Bill Robertson gets it. Torrens 2nd, Seaman 3rd, Tomine 4th, and Davey Lee completes your top 5. So we are the Calusi Chevy Pace Truck with the cameraman on board. are out. Pace truck can go off the track, Denny. This time we had twin 20s back on April 26. John Flinner and John Mason were the winners. John and John. Kowatic and Atala bring the field off of 4, and the green is out. Kowatic takes the lead into 1. Atala trying to battle back down the back straightaway. Kowatic will lead into turn 3. Atala second. Geisler is third. Flinner and Zarin battle for 4th. Geisler down on the inside. Whoa, slides right up in front of Atala for second as they head into 1. Down the back straightaway, it's still George Kowatic leading in the Medical Center Brace 5. The battle for second between Lynn Geisler and now Atala. Zarin is 4th, Flinner is 5th, and it's Nick Jones and Mark Moats. 2 laps in. Atala now to the low side of Geisler in that battle for second, but it's still Lynn second and Atala third. Spinning out is the 42 of Matt Dobnak. Caution on the Speedway. Geisler on the outside. Here they come into turn number 4. Green is out, and the battle is on. Into the walls. Somebody hard contact on the front straightaway. Caution is out. We've got debris on the race. Damaged things. And the Dave Nicholas owned 50 is back in the pits, and the green is out another time, and the battle is on into turn 1. Kowatic and Geisler wheel to wheel into that first turn. Kowatic down on the inside, Geisler on the outside as they exit turn 2. It'll be Geisler your leader. Kowatic second. Atala third. Flinner is 4th, and we got a big time wreck on the back straightaway. Big wreck on the back straightaway. The 21 of Tony Mussolino, the 76 of Dave Wade are sitting there right at the entrance to the
on Wednesday night.
Off of 4, the green is out, and down the front straightaway they come another time into turn 1. Kowatic will have the lead this time. Geisler is second. Flinner to the inside of Atala in the battle for third down the back straightaway. Moats and Zarin wheel to wheel for 5th. Flinner moving into third in turn 4. Kowatic your leader. Geisler is second. Atala 4th. Mark Moats almost spinning in turns 1 and 2. He loses a couple of spots as they head down the back straightaway in the 44 car. Down, George Kowatic trying to pick up his first ever late model feature win, and the guy who's won more late model races here than anyone is running second right now in Lynn Geisler. John Flinner third, Atala 4th, and Zarin 5th. Nick Jones is 6th, Steve Baker 7th, Mark Moats 8th, Lou Bradish and Ben Miley run 9th and 10th. Six laps down. Still Kowatic by about 8 or 9 car lengths over Geisler. Same distance back to Flinner third. We got a spin here on the front straightaway. The 42 of Matt Dobnak. Caution is out. George Kowatic with Lynn Geisler to his outside. John Flinner and Atala right behind. Rub and paint as they race off of 4. The green is out. This time Geisler gets the restart, the advantage. They've been taking turns on the restarts. Geisler your leader, Kowatic second, Atala third, Flinner 4th, Jones is 5th. The outside got the upper hand that time. Geisler and Atala both picking up 1 spot when the race went back to green. Nick Nick Jones 5th. Jim Zarin is 6th. Lou Bradish on the move now in the 09, trying to pass Zarin for 6th. The Auction Barn 09 started 12th. He's up to 6th. It's the Cochran Automotive 1C of Lynn Geisler showing the way with George Kowatic 2nd and Awatala 3rd. Flinner is 4th. Jones 5th. Bradish 6th. Zarin 7th. Baker 8th. Williams 9th. Ben Miley runs 10th. Seems like whoever gets in the clear air here, the clean air, becomes the fastest. We saw Kowatic race out to about a 10-car length lead on Geisler. Now Geisler's doing the same to Kowatic. Halfway home in the first win 20. Geisler looking for his 2nd win of the season here at Pittsburgh. He won back on April the 12th. Tala tried to close in on Kowatic for 2nd. Flinner is 4th. Jones is 5th. Bradish still 6th. Zarin 7th. Baker 8th. Miley 9th. And Williams is 10th. Like maybe it's Jimmy Zarin or somebody's got a miss. He was running up in the top 5 early in this one, but has dropped back a bit. Not sure if it's him or not. Second, third, fourth, and fifth tightly bunched down the back straightaway. Half a straightaway lead for Lynn Geisler as he comes off the 4th turn with 5 laps to go. A straightaway lead for Geisler. Kowatic still 2nd. Atala is 3rd. Now gets a little high in 4. John Flinner will make up some distance there. He is 4th and Nick Jones 5th. Brad is 6th. Zarin 7th. Baker 8th. Miley 9th. And Bob Williams runs 10th in the number 8 car. That's Mark Moats and Michael Davis, Chuck Kennedy and Bill Adler. Ricky Himes still on the lead lap with 2 to go. 2 laps remaining. He is 1 lap away from his 65th career win here at Pennsylvania Motor Speedway, the Cochran Automotive 1C of Lynn Geisler. With Mark Bonone on here tonight, Lynn should take over the points lead. Remember, we still have another feature to go. Here he comes off of 4. Lynn Geisler gets his 2nd win of the season. George Kowatic 2nd. Awatala 3rd. John Flinner 4th. Nick Jones 5th. Bradish 6th. Zarin 7th. Baker 8th. Miley 9th. And Bob Williams in car 8 will round out the top 10. 65th time he's taken the checkered flag. State Auto Racing Club. How about a nice hand, folks, for Lynn Geisler. 65th career late model win here at Pittsburgh.
Come on over here. On this. Turned out to be a pretty good evening. I understand that you had the other car out for hot laps and there was a problem.
Yeah, a water pump come apart or something, but That was a good race, and Georgie's come a long way. I tell you, he's a young kid, but he races pretty clean. He's a real good racer. It's fun to be racing with him.
It was interesting. I went over to you earlier. The TV crew wanted to get some film footage, and I said, if everything goes okay, can we get some shots of you loading the car and the crew working? And you said, yeah, if everything works okay. Well, this is okay.
Yeah, I hope I don't have to have them here every night to win, but I don't know how many nights they're planning on coming. But sure nice to see everybody braving the weather up there and turning out for tonight. It's definitely a fun place to race. It's nice to be back here with some of my old fans for sure, so it's really nice to be here.
65 career wins, a pretty impressive total. A lot of people are wondering, you're going to run for points, you're going to run regular. But for the fans that don't know, a couple of weeks ago you were down in Nashville. Your son graduated from Vanderbilt University. You're helping him with his project, so I guess you just run when time permits.
Yeah, we'll probably miss a race or two here. Got some all-pro racing to do down in Nashville here in a couple weeks. So be nice if it turns out like this for him.
How about a nice hand? 65 career wins. Lynn Geisler and the #1 Cochran Automotive.
One of these two, Lynn.
Okay. Okay, we're pulling the invert, and also Lynn pulled.
Advanced Auto Parts limited late model feature with the 5 of Kirk Young on the pole and the 02 of Todd Sorenzia outside. 14G Scott Gunn, 31 Tony Sinecrope, 83 Mike Morgan, 99 Jesse Burrows, 27 C Bobby Castelvetter. 55 Tom Duratz, 69 John Hotchkiss, the 1 of Neil Eisminger, 84 Jim Steffens. Green is out. Caution is out. Let's try it again. Kirk Young in the 5 and Todd Sorenzia in the 02. Bring the field off of 4 and the green is out. Sorenzia out for the first time in the 02. Out in front early here with Scott Gunn second. Kirk Young third, Tony Sinecrope fourth. Bobby Castelvetter moves to fifth in the 27. Scott Gunn closing the gap on race leader Todd Sorenzia. Castelvetter to the low side, trying to pass Sinecrope for fourth. Castelvetter moves up to fourth. Sinecrope is fifth now. Morgan is sixth. Burrows seventh. Hotchkiss eighth. Eisminger ninth. And Apolito runs 10th. Are down. Kirk Young is third and Bobby Castelvetter putting the pressure on. Castelvetter hooked up down on the low side of the racetrack. Still Sorenzia and Gunn, 1 and 2. Todd's Auto Body 02. And the Subway West Mifflin Collision Center 14G of Scott Gunn. Really closing now as Sorenzia pushing a little high in the turns coming off. Truck Incorporated, 5 of Kirk Young still third. The Froggy FM 27 of Castelvetter fourth, and the Pabst Blue Ribbon 31 of Sinecrope is fifth. Todd Sorenzia Cerenzia by just a car length with 12 laps to go. Scott Gunn has been a two-time winner this year. The points leader in the 14G, starting to turn up the pressure. A little bit better coming off right now than Cerenzia. Takes a look to the inside of Todd as they race into 3. Still Cerenzia your leader and Gunn second. Turn 2, Cerenzia gets way high, and here comes Gunn with the momentum off the low side of 2 into 3. They're wheel to wheel for the lead. In turn 4, it's Scott Gunn taking over the lead by car length now. Cerenzia second at the halfway mark. Kirk Young still third, Bobby Castelvetter fourth. Look how much of a lead Scott Gunn opened up, and just those that one lap is taken off. Flat tire on Tom Durant's in car 55. He'll go to the pits. Second, third, and fourth tightening up a bit. Todd Cerenzia, Kirk Young, and Bobby Castelvetter here in turn 4. Still Cerenzia second. Young third and Castelvetter a close fourth as they race into 1. They've got lap traffic ahead of them. Young gets high and Castelvetter moves to third in the 27 car. Dale Westlake takes the 15 to the pits. Straightaway lead for Scott Gunn. He's got the 14G flying tonight with 5 laps to go. Castelvetter now to the low side of Cerenzia. Bobby on the march in the Froggy FM 27C. He's up to second. Cerenzia drops to third. To go in the Advanced Auto Parts Limited Late Models. Scott Gunn looking to be the first 3-time winner in the limited late models this year. He's the only 2-time winner coming into tonight, trying to tie Russ Matika for the most wins here this season. The Advanced Auto Parts Limited Late Models, the West Mifflin Collision Center, Subway 14G. Scott Gunn gets it done in the Advanced Auto Parts Limited Late Models. Once he got the lead, there was no doubt about it. Bobby Castelvetter finishes strong in second. Todd Cerenzia, first night out, is third. Kirk Young fourth, and Tony the Tiger Synchrope completes the top 5. It was a hard charge. That's right. Bobby Castelvetter was your Monarch Oil hard charger in car 27. How about a nice hand, folks, for Scott Gunn?
That was pretty impressive.
Thanks. I had no idea what was about to happen after that heat race. We come in, changed every shock, every spring, every tire. No idea what was going to happen, but boy, we hit lucky there.
I don't know if you realize it, but you had a straightaway lead.
No idea at all. You know what? The guy was giving me signals on a corner that I had a big lead, but you know, you start changing the way you drive, and next thing you know, bad things happen. So I just stayed real steady and smooth as I could.
I want to talk about some good things. In addition to this being your third win, you're very involved with Jimmy Steigerwald. You and your guys have been towing one of the cars around for Racers for Tots. You're also going to be involved in our show up at the Racing Fan next Wednesday. It kind of proves my theory that racers are good people. And on behalf of Jimmy and the folks at Racing Fan, I want to thank you ahead of time.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it. Hey, anybody gets a chance this Wednesday up at the Race Fan in Monroeville, come on up. Chip Ganassi will be there, and a bunch of our cars will be up there. And buy some tickets for these Racers for Tots cars. Goes to a great organization.
Congratulations on another win.
Thanks. One other thing I want to say, I want to thank my wife and my kids. I forgot that the last 2 times. If I do it this time, I'm not going to be allowed to go home. So I want to thank my wife and kids.
All right, he won't have to sleep in the garage. How about a nice hand for Scott Gunn?
29 Rick Heim, 697 Dave Johnson, 42 Matt Dobnak, the 04 of Gary Swiger, and the 21 of Tony Mussolino. 19 cars. Lou Bradish has 1 win this year. That came back on May 3rd. The ginger ale, that's why I did a pour big glass. I thought it was getting ginger ale. All of a sudden it's sort of. Then they said there's no ginger ale. Just pour glasses. So green is out. Round 2 of the Twin 20s. Jones slides out of the groove in turn 2. Bradish leads Flinner to second. Atala is third, Jones fourth, and it's Zarin. Lane Geisler picking up a bunch of spots on that first lap too. Geisler from 12th to 6th in 1 lap. 7th, I think that, 12th to 7th. Bradish in front, Flinner runs second. Nick Jones underneath Awatala will move back to third. Atala's fourth, Zarin fifth, Kawadic sixth, Geisler seventh. Here comes Jim Zarin with a head of steam down the back straightaway to Palipa with Awatala for fourth. Still fourth, Zarin fifth as they leave turn 2 down the back straightaway, but Jimmy Z looks to the inside of Al again into 3. It's the auction barn 09 of Lou Bradish leading the Johns Towing 48 of John Johnson. Running third. And the Rutledge Concrete, Irvine Alignment 15 is Nick Jones. Salo fourth, Zarin fifth, Kawadic sixth, Geisler seventh. Miley is eighth, Bob Williams running ninth, and Mark Motes is 10th. 15 laps to go. Bradish and Flinner extend the lead, a half a straightaway over the third place car of Nick Jones. A little tight that time in 1 and 2. He lost a lot of ground to race leader Lou Bradish. Bradish now starting to lap some cars. With 13 laps to go, he catches the back of the field. Tala slipping high in 4, but Zarin was not right behind him that time. Could not seize the opportunity to move up to 4th. 42, Matt Dobnak back into the pits in car 42. Mussolino has to get on the binders to avoid the 44 of Mark Moats as they raced off the 4th turn. Back for about the 10th spot. Flinner trying to close back in on Bradish. Said John slipped down in 1 and 2 about 3 laps earlier and lost a lot of ground to Bradish. Now trying to make it up. Atala high in turn 2, and Jimmy Zarin moves to 4th. Atala in the 84 almost spinning the car off that 2nd turn, the Phil Lucon machine. Not getting the grip he needs coming off that 2nd turn. Spinner in turn number 3 and 4. Caution is out for the 6 of Chuck Kennedy, his car owner. Green is out. Whoa! A couple of guys got bunched together. Both with 15 career late model wins here at Pittsburgh. On the hammer again, the green is out. Ben Miley looks like the front end damage on the 99 is going to cost him some. Jones gets high, and Jimmy Zarin moves up to 3rd in the 1Z. Atala in the 84 trying to get by Jones and does. Close battle there for positions 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Geisler up high in turn 4. Tony Mussolino gets underneath him. 7 laps to go. It's still Lou Bradish and John Flinner showing the way. Zarin 3rd, Atala 4th, Jones 5th. Mussolino, who started almost dead last, has come a long way in the 21 as Kowanek will move up into the top 5. Kowanek to 5th. Jones drops to 6th. Nick was 3rd on the restart. Ben Miley off the pace in the 99 car. Geisler now back underneath Mussolino and will pass him into turn 3. Laps to go. Lou Bradish trying to hold off John Flinner. Those two have been about the same distance apart all 20 laps. Lou's really never extended it except for Flinner's one little bobble, and Flinner now has closed in a couple of car lengths here as we get into the late stages. Never count John out. He's always up on that wheel trying to get some more out of the 48. Zarin is closing in 2 in the 1Z. Both Flinner and Zarin making some progress here in the late stages. But it's still Bradish by about 3 car lengths. Zarin went into 3 a little hard. He got high, and Atala moves back to 3rd down the front stretch. Atala's up to 3rd now. Zarin drops to 4th as they scramble around there. Here they come. 2 laps to go, 2 to go. Lou Bradish trying to win his 2nd of the year. Flinner 2nd. Zarin now back ahead of Atala for 3rd. Atala to the inside of Zarin in 1 and 2, but it's Zarin 3rd, Atala 4th, Kowanek 5th. 1 lap to go for Lou Bradish, clear racetrack. Through 1 and 2, it's Bradish by 3 car lengths, making 3.5 or 4 down the back straightaway. Trying to protect that low side. Off the 4th turn, he'll lead wire to wire in round 2 of the twin 20s. Flinner's 2nd, Zarin just edging Atala for 3rd. Kowanek 5th, Jones 6th, Geisler 7th, Mussolino 8th, Baker 9th, Mark Moats 10th. Lou Bradish gets his 2nd win of the year. He joins Lynn. Hopefully will provide some more feel-good medicine for car owner Pappy Kessler. Pappy's what, 80-plus years old? How about a nice hand, folks, for Lou Bradish, his second win of the season.
You know, I always like it when I'm right. I saw you earlier, and I said, Lou, I'll see you after the feature.
Well, they made it a little tough on me on that first one. I had to start 12th because we won that other race. But car's right there. You know, the team did a good job. You know, you can't say enough for the work effort we put in. George's car had a broken hub after the first race. We all got together and got both cars done. And you can't say more about how the job he's doing. Oh, my, that kid's really coming on.
He's close. I mean, it's coming. Let's talk about the team. You know, the 09, we mentioned it the last time you were in Victory Lane. The who's who of drivers in Western Pennsylvania, Ohio, and West Virginia have driven this car. And I think you're right. Maybe they did save the best for last.
Well, you know, we all get along real well. And, you know, it works out real good for all of us. That team and my team gelled good from the beginning because we're all about half simple, you know.
If they can't get along with you, there's something wrong, right?
Exactly. And we like to drink a lot of beer and act up, and so do they. So, yeah.
Well, I noticed your crew. You got them trained. The first thing, come over, check the tire, and hand you a beer.
Oh, yeah. That's why my brother's so little. I kept beating him up till he brought me the beer out. Now he's good. He brings it right now.
Is this one for Adrian?
Actually, this one's for Pappy. He's not doing very good. You know, our hearts go out to him. So this one's for Pap.
How about a nice hand? Lou Bradish, ladies and gentlemen.
Congratulations, very nice race.
I thought you just get along good because you don't wear no underwear, you said last year.
Brown, Jeff Bronaszewski in the FC31. Mike Crush in the 5. 33, Mike McKee. 8 is Eric Betts. Also out there, the 10 of Nick Kachuba, the 18 of Mark Greer, and the 45X of Greg Swager. 28 strong. Laps for your Eismeyer's Pennzoil Pure Stocks. Frankie Schneider on the pole with 1 win this year, and Willie White outside the front row also has a feature win. Green is out. Scores Delight, 28 strong down the back straightaway. Frankie Schneider leading, Willie White second, Pole Jack is third. Doug Foster the outside of Pole Jack. Kammerker's down on the inside. Here they come. Schneider leading, White applying the pressure down the back straightaway. Foster is third. Caution is out. We've got a wreck up in turn 1. 8 ball. Off the 4th turn they come. Green is out. Schneider still your leader, White second. They got a wheel coming off a car. The 8 ball of Joe Betts and is out. We're sliding him in the 22 off the pace on the restart. Willie White to the inside of Frankie Schneider here. Battle for the lead. Sliding through that third and fourth turn. Willie nosing ahead as they head down the front straightaway. Doug Foster is third. Or no, he's fourth, excuse me. And pressure there. A.J. Poljak running third in the 36. Darryl Robinson picking him off down the back straightaway in the 1R. The red machine. Down in the first turn, but everybody's got him going straight again. The green stays out. All right, guys. Jake Simmons looks like he's off the pace in the 68X. Willie White still leading. The 8-ball off the pace. Joe Betts. Schneider breaks. Frankie Schneider with a flat right rear tire. Look out, Craig Kamiker in the 72. Caution on the Speedway. Willie White is elected to restart on the outside. He's on the gas. So is A.J. Poljak, and Poljak pulls White and will take the lead going into that first turn. AJ's been strong on the restart side. If you remember, I think he took the lead away from Willie White in a late race restart in an earlier heat and won it. So it's Poljak in front now. White is second. So Patch in third, then Doug Foster, and here comes Darryl Robinson too. Laps down. Sean Bryan slowing down in the 4-car. Willie White slides into the lead as they race into turn 1. A.J. Poljak second, Opatchin is third. Darryl Robinson and Doug Foster dueling for fourth and fifth. Bob Betts returns to the Speedway in car 81. Halfway, 7 to go. Patchen moves to second. 7 laps down, excuse me. Still 8 to go. Sean Bryan in the 4-car pitting, and Ron Opatchin trying to take the lead away from Willie White. It's two have the most experience of anyone in this division, Opatchin and White. Opatchin down low, Willie up high, and still White by a nose. Poljak third, Robinson fourth, Foster is fifth. And it's Larry Marks and Joe Anthony. Darryl Robinson now dives to the inside of A.J. Poljak. Marks to the low side of Foster. Six laps remaining, 6 to go. Willie White now has extended that lead by about 3 or 4 car lengths. Spinning out up in turn 4 is the 8-car of Eric Betts. He's coming down across the racetrack. Bob Betts is coming off the turn and the caution is out. Wow, 8 laps down. On the accelerator another time. Willie White and Ron Opatchin. Into that first turn, the battle is on. Still Willie in front, Opatchin second, Poljak third, Robinson a close fourth. Down the back straightaway, Darryl Robinson on the outside trying to move by A.J. Poljak for third. Robinson on the march from 12th to 3rd. Poljak fourth, Marks is fifth. Broniszewski's come a long way too. Jeff's up to 6th in car 31. He's quietly Already been working his way toward the front of the field. The FC 31 of Jeff Broniszewski. Then it's Joe Anthony in his 69. The 27 W of Steve Webb, Frankie Schneider, and Doug Foster. Foster's gone backwards since the restart of the FC3, the silver one. The FC3 maybe having some mechanical problems, not up to speed. It would appear down the straightaways especially. Robinson going to try the low side in the 1R. It's White in front, Opachin second. And Frankie Schneider's all the way back into the top 10 in the Mach 5. Actually up to about 8th. Willie White trying to get his second win of the year. John Kane in the 06 spins around in turn 4. Caution is out. Doug Foster losing power in the FC3. They're trying to find out why as we restart this race. 3 laps to go. Opachin trying to take the lead away from Willie White as we get down to rut cutting time here. Opachin moves ahead, and we've got a spin up in turn 4. Adam Chaitil in the 1, and I believe the 27 of Steve Webb were the first to get it. Hackermer and Craig Kemaker rounding out the top 10 with 3 laps remaining. Green is out. Still Willie White, Opachin on his tail. Wayne Johnson returns to the Speedway in car 45. Still on the lead lap. 2 laps to go. Comcast cable 55 trying to hold off the 51, but look at Darrell Robinson pull alongside of Opachin. In turn 4 there, wheel to wheel for second. Chris Langham pitting in car 22. White flag for White with the racing hard behind him. It might be just what Willie needs as he opens up about a 3-car length lead. Kolchak still 4th and Larry Marks 5th. Broniszewski is 6th, and Schneider's come from the back up to 7th. Here they come to the checkered flag, winning for the 2nd time this season. Willie White in the Eisminger Pencil Pure Stock. So Patchen, Robinson, Kolchak, Marks are next.
State wants to give Red a plaque or something, a track plaque.
How about a nice hand, folks, for Willie White.
The other way.
The last time I interviewed you, you said they don't think the old guys can get the job done.
Well, this is for the old timers. How's that?
What a nice race. Now, you probably couldn't see it because it was behind you, but you and Opachin and Robeson, quite a battle for that top spot.
Yeah, but I always had the lead.
That's what I said. You couldn't see what was going on, but they were right there.
Look at this. It's starting to rain.
Well, we'll cut this short. 2 wins. Nice job. Congratulations.
Thank you, Don.
Real quick. Hey, Red, before we get wet here, some pretty exciting things going on. Let's talk about them.
Oh, yeah, we just have a lot of good things going on.
Nate Coleman in the 62 and Chuck Kennedy in the 74 tonight. After motor problems in his A1. Youth and experience. Coleman a rookie. Kennedy has been wheeling race cars for 25 years in Western Pennsylvania, and they bring the E-Modifieds to the green flag, and off we go into turn 1. Kennedy will take the lead in the Stushes Automotive 74. Tassine moves to second. Smith is third. Then it's High Song and Copeman. Daryl Charlier in the 12 car moving up as well on the outside. Spin in turn 3. Caution is out for the 23 car of John. Elected to restart on the inside. Green is out. Kennedy ahead of the 10 of Wayne Tassine, 16 Ralph Highsong, then the 14 of Dennis Perigo, the 12 of Daryl Charlier, and the 5 of Rick Megley. And we've got a wreck up in turn 3. It's the same car in the same spot. Green is out. This one up in turn 3 and 4, but everyone gets him straightened around and the caution is out. Out. On the back straightaway, 14 Denny Perigo and the 38 of Rick Smith get tangled up, and the caution is back out. Also caught up the 51 of Bill Westlake and a 38. Senior leader. Daryl Charlier to the outside trying to pass Chuck Kennedy for second. Wow, Russ Matika off that fourth turn in the 17M. Moves all the way to second. I think he was outside of the top 5 when they went into 3 and 4. Charlier third now, Kennedy fourth, High Song is fifth, Megley is sixth. Walters is 7th. Of Ray Brown bounces off the wall, going down the back straightaway and heads for the pits. Wayne Tassine with the lead. Russ Matika runs second. The battle is for third. Daryl Charlier, Chuck Kennedy, Ralph Highsong, and Rick Megley. Caution is out. The 19 of Ray Brown not able to get into the pits. 10 laps to go. Decine and Russ Matika bring the field off with 4, and the green is out. Whoa, rub wheels at the flag stand going into that first turn. Decine pushes just a bit, and look out, we got cars together, everybody separates and the green stays out. No, we got one going around the wrong direction. Galen Ogden. Here they come. Green is out. Will to Will for the lead down the back straightaway. Wayne Decine and Russ Matika. Daryl Charlier is third. Ricky Megley moves to 4th. Now it's Matika taking the lead. Ralph Highsong 5th. Kennedy has dropped to 6th. Waters to 7th. Laboon 8th. Joel Johns 9th, and Bruce Drystad is 10th. Charlier gets high. Megley moves to 3rd. Charlier and Megley continue their battle for 3rd down the back straightaway. Charlier moves back to 3rd. He slides up. Halfway, 7 to go. Russ Matika looking for his 4th win of the year. Ken Puglisi pitting in car 48. Matika looking for his 2nd win in a row and 4th of the season. 5 laps to go. And Rick on the back straightaway. Rick Smith still spinning around in the 38 car. The caution is out. Green is back out. Coatman in the 62 spins around again. Caution is out. This may go down in the history books as the longest 15-lap feature in E-Mod history. 6 to go. Nobody seems to have anything for the 17M of Russ Matika. 5 laps to go. Kellogg Corporation, RLA Chassis, Bob's Excavating 17M driving off again. Wayne Decine still 2nd, Daryl Charlier 3rd, Rick Megley 4th, Ralph Highsong is 5th, Larry Waters 6th, Chuck Kennedy 7th, Vince Laboon 8th, Bruce Drystad 9th, and Joel Johns is 10th. Megley and Charlier continue that battle for 3rd. Down the back straightaway, Ricky Megley edging ahead, and we got another spin over in turn 2 this time. It's the Mach 5 of Joel Johns. Back out. Battle for 3rd is on again. Daryl Charlier on the outside of the 12. Rick Megley to the inside into 3 and 4. Charlier pushes high. Megley moves up into the third hole, and Ralph Highsall trying to follow him to fourth. To go, 2 to go. Ralph Highsall moves to fourth. One more time around. Matika starting 12th for his second win in a row and his fourth of the season. He will get it done in the E-Mods. Wayne Tessine second, Rick Megley third, Ralph Highsall fourth, and Daryl Charlier fifth. Larry Walters, Chuck Kennedy, Vince LeBoon, Bruce Drystad, and Rick Smith are next. All right, folks. I don't know what was harder, the competition or the caution flags. Russ Matika makes it to the winner's circle for the fourth time this year.
I think that qualifies you to run the World 600.
Oh, I'm ready. That was gut-wrenching here, I tell you.
What, was it the track, or some of the guys just weren't paying attention?
I don't know. I mean, there was a lot of bite out, and I just had to mind my manners. Just to start in 11th, you know, it's kind of rough. I don't want to get in a wreck.
Well, you have 4 wins, 2 in a row. Looks like the team's got everything right on the money.
Yeah, we're working pretty good. We're just RLA chassis. Tommy works with us week in and week out, and we just got this thing hooked to the ground.
Congratulations on another win.
Thank you.
Russ Matika. Hey, what we're doing down here now, it's a presentation for Ricky Megley. We have a tradition here at the Speedway that when you win your first career victory, they have a nice trophy and they get some pictures. And we're going to have a word with Ricky. Come on over here. Has it had time to sink in now, your first win?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It was great. And, glad to be back here. You know, I was hoping the rain was going to hold off. I seen that we were in the lineup there, and I was getting worried. But a lot of cars tonight. It was good, and I thank all the fans for coming out. And Miley's for this. This means a lot to me. You know, this is a dream come true. Win my first race. I always wanted to drive a race car, and I finally did it. So can't be any happier.
Well, now you got to build a trophy case for the rest of them.
Oh, yeah, go-kart trophies, first race car trophies.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Ricky Megley picking up his first career win here a couple of weeks ago at the Pennsylvania Motor Speedway.
Tim Fulmer takes the lead at the drop of the green. Langer second, Tomai third. Fulmer out in front. Davey Lee and Bob Hyman battle for fourth. Oh, your leader sideways in front of the field. Langer gets by. Oh, Davey Lee right smack into the butt of the zero. Tim Fulmer, who boogered the back end up in the heat race, will have to. Joshua Langer is your leader. Robbie Torrance in the 22 and Ian Tomine in the 21 are next. Then it's Bill Robertson in the 1B. Robertson in the 1B to the inside of Ian Tomine's 21. Bill Robertson now makes the pass for third. But Ian Tomine is not going to give that spot up easily. Into second. 4 laps to go. Bobby Seaman trying to pass Ian Tomine for fourth. Two laps to go. Joshua Langer, former champion in the amateur stocks. Back in 2001, and Bill Robertson, who's running second, won the championship a year ago. His second win of the year. So when back on April the 12th, Joshua Langer wins in the amateur stocks with Bill Robertson second. Robbie Torrance third, Ian Tomine fourth, and Bobby Seaman fifth. How about a nice hand, folks? Second win for Joshua Langer.
And I echo Dad's comments. Good job. Nice race.
Thank you. Just got out front and tried to keep it all nice and smooth and stay out of trouble. I was a little worried when the zero car spun out and caught me in the quarter panel over there, but I guess nothing's wrong, so.
Apparently not. You know, what I thought was interesting, you guys ran 10 laps and had 1 caution. The modifieds must have had 15 cautions, and you guys just did a super job.
Thanks. I was falling asleep waiting to go out.
Now, are you teammates with Robertson here?
Yeah, me and Billy are teammates.
And you each have 2 wins. That's pretty impressive. Your team combined has 4 wins.
Yeah, everything works together, and we all work well and take care of what has to be done.
Nice job. Congratulations.
Thanks. I need to thank a couple of my sponsors, West Point Dodge, Imperial Tire and Automotive, Jet Services, and Bowden's Auto Clinic. And I'd like to thank my crew, my mom and dad, Billy Robertson, Pete Loria. Thank everybody for helping out. My fans in turn 4.
How about a nice hand for Josh Langer? Good group of people picking up their 2nd win.